Well, it appears that this actually worked. I'm sorry if you're here, and then we had a lot of trouble before there with Facebook, but it looks like YouTube is actually working here. I think Facebook learned that we're about to talk about the truth and truth that they're not so comfortable with. And I think a pop-up came up that an independent fact checker named Jocelyn and Dana said didn't like what we were saying, so we weren't allowed to go live on Facebook. But thankfully, YouTube is working here. So just in case anyone happens to miss tonight, this will be recorded. It will go to our YouTube channel. Please share this out when we're done tonight, because we really need to counter all the false information that's out there right now. Unfortunately, one of the biggest proponents of false voting information right now is our Attorney General, Dana Nessel. So what we're here to talk about tonight is how you can legally vote while armed, specifically open carry. Now, my name is Tom Lambert. On behalf of Michigan Open Carry here tonight, thank you very much for joining me. Michigan Open Carry is a nonprofit and nonpartisan Michigan group that promotes the open carry of an holstered handgun. We've been very active in this state for a number of years, obviously with open carry, and we just recently have had a lot of success in some litigation here in Michigan that I want to talk to you about as well. In case you haven't been paying attention to the news, our Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, recently, by executive edict, tried to ban open carry in polling locations. Thankfully, the gun groups of Michigan, Michigan Open Carry, Michigan Gun Owners, and Michigan Coalition for Responsible Gun Owners all banded together and fought off this unlawful attack from our Secretary of State. We won in the Court of Claims, not just having her actions declared illegal, but also obtaining a preliminary injunction against her. That is big. Dana Nessel, our Attorney General, appealed the case to the Michigan Court of Appeals, and not only did they tell her no, they denied leave for her appeal. That means they didn't think her appeal was even worth hearing. Now, the Attorney General has filed an emergency appeal to the Michigan Supreme Court. So what I tell you tonight, there is a small possibility that it might change. Please watch your local and state gun groups before you go vote to make sure what I'm telling you is still accurate then. But as of right now, it's the most updated information. Jocelyn and Dana, we've won so far. Sorry, we get to exercise our rights while voting, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, how do you vote while armed? The answer is really simple. Don't overthink it. It's simply you do everything you normally would. That's it. There are a couple statutes out there that govern where you can and can't carry a firearm and how you can carry that firearm. All you need to do is follow those statutes just like you do every day, and that's it. So there's a couple relevant statutes to polling locations. A lot of polling locations are in churches. There's a statute, 750.234D. That statute prohibits the possession of firearms in certain enumerated places. There's another statute, 750.237A. It's effectively the exact same thing, but just for schools specifically. Now, together, those two statutes prohibit firearms in churches, in schools, and a number of other locations that we're just not going to talk about right now. But polling locations are often in churches and schools. Now, both of those statutes, here's the important part, both statutes exempt anyone with permission to possess a firearm and anyone with a license to carry a concealed pistol issued by this state or another state. So if you're a Michigan CPL holder, or if you have a license from another state, you can possess a firearm in a church or school. Now, I said possess. I didn't say open carry. I didn't say concealed carry. Possession means both of those. So which one can you do? Well, that depends a little bit further. There's another statute, 28.4250, that lists another list of places, but churches and schools are in that list as well. And that list says that you cannot carry a concealed pistol if you're a CPL holder, unless you're one of those special people that have your exemption. And if you are, hey, fantastic for you. So if you're like me and you have a CPL, but you don't have that special exemption, and you vote in a school or a church, I happen to vote in a church, that leaves me with the only legal option left of open carry. Now, for me, that's perfectly fine. Now, for you, maybe you prefer concealed carry, and hey, that's fine too. We always say it's up to you to make your decision. But if you'd like to carry lawfully into a polling location and you don't have that special box checked, then open carry is your only option. Now, let's say you don't have a CPL. If you don't vote in a church or a school, let's say you vote in a town hall or the local firehouse or something of that nature, then open carry is lawful for you. Make sure you transport lawfully. I suggest walking. It's the easiest way to get there. Go to our website, miopencarry.org/FAQ. We have a lot of information for you on how to transport your firearm lawfully if you don't have a CPL, how to open carry lawfully if you don't have a CPL, as well as we discuss at length those statutes and the interaction between them that I just mentioned. The 234D1, the 237A1, and the 425O. So again, it is lawful to openly carry your holstered handgun in a polling location. And if you feel that you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, that you're ensuring your own personal safety while you go vote, I certainly understand that decision, and I encourage you to do it just like you do, again, every day. Do it with a smile, do it with a friendly manner, do it peacefully. I'm sorry for saying it again. It's so common sense to me, but there's so many people in the news right now that are throwing a hissy fit that we're just going to pound it in lawfully, peacefully, and without incident, just like every other day, just like the past so many years that we've been doing this, and that we get that I voted sticker, put it on the pistol, and show that picture on our Facebook page. By the way, when you're done, come to Michigan Open Carry's Facebook page, come to Michigan Open Carry's Facebook group, and show us your I voted sticker. Show us your firearm that you openly carried with that I voted sticker on it. We want to see that. We want to promote, again, lawful open carry. And to be clear as well, Michigan Open Carry is a nonpartisan organization. I don't care who you're going to vote for. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what issues are important to you and what issues are not and where you stand on those issues. If you want to vote for your issues and your candidates while protecting yourself, then we want to defend your right and promote your right to do so. I mentioned some litigation as well. This was some very fast-moving litigation, and it took a huge amount of efforts by 3 Michigan gun groups. I am so proud of these groups that came together and worked together to get this done. I want to say a special thank you to Dean Greenblatt, attorney for Michigan Open Carry, as well as Terry Johnson, who also represented Michigan Open Carry, Jim Mikowski for representing Michigan gun owners, and Steve Doolin for representing Michigan Coalition for Responsible Gun Owners. These guys did a fantastic job. I also want to shout out to Steve Sundin for helping out, and a huge thank you to Carrie Lee Morgan for providing a tremendous amount of help, and the stuff that the advice that he gave, it really made the day. And just so you know, if you happen to think about Carrie Lee Morgan while you're voting, and you happen to look under who's there and under the area for Supreme Court Justice in the state of Michigan, that'd be wonderful. But that's entirely your decision. Lastly, when you go vote, if anyone accosts you, and if anyone gives you any trouble, please, again, do what you normally do. Remain calm, smile at them, try to ignore them if possible, ask them to leave you alone if you have to. If there's somebody that's a poll worker or a poll challenger, try to get their name politely as possible, and then report it back to us. We want to know when that happens. This litigation that I talked about is not done. And so if something happens to you where somebody tries to give you a hard time, we would like to get an affidavit from you, and that would really help us out going forward. Now, I fully expect the vast majority of you, if not every single one of you, will have absolutely zero issues. But just in case that doesn't happen, from all the crazy hyperbole coming from our state administration right now, just in case, make sure you do everything you normally do. Get as much information as you can, politely and peacefully, and then report it back to us. You can reach out to Michigan Open Carry at board@miopencarry.org. board@miopencarry.org. You can also private message our Facebook page, post in our Facebook group. We want that information from you, and we'll make sure it gets to the right source. So one more thing. Some people might ask, well, churches and schools, they have policies. Wasn't there some litigation about schools, and schools can make their own policies? And didn't the Michigan Supreme Court rule that schools can ban guns? Well, first, that's not what the Michigan Supreme Court ruled. They ruled that 2 out of 3 forms of preemption didn't apply, and they didn't want to address that third preemption. I'll leave it up to you to guess why they didn't want to address that third form. But nonetheless, on election day, when these places are polling locations, they cannot enforce their private policies against you. Assume their private policies are otherwise lawful. While they're a polling location, their private policies are irrelevant. And that makes sense. Think about it. Can a school enforce their dress code on you? Can a church enforce their dress code on you? Can a church ban you based on your sexual orientation? Can a school limit whatever language that you want? Can a school make sure you're there on certain times? Can they make you sign in? No, of course they cannot enforce any of their private policies. What they have done is they have voluntarily leased their premises to a government organization to use their property during that time. They are no longer in control of it. The government organization is. So if you do go vote in a church in a polling location and they say, yeah, it's otherwise lawful, but we have a policy. Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am. Your policy is not in effect today, not while you're a polling location. Please go see these people over here. They'll explain it to you and point to the people operating the poll. If you still have problems, Michigan Open Carry has a hotline. We'll try and make sure that hotline's up and working. It is last time I know, but we'll double check. Let us know what problems you have. We're here to help you. Lastly, if you have any questions, we also have a Voting While Armed FAQ that we put out a couple years ago. We've been blasting it out recently. We're going to continue blasting out here in the next couple days. Ask us whatever questions you have. We want to answer them. We want to help you as much as you can. And again, share this information out, please. We're only a couple days before the election, and there's just so much misinformation out there in the news and so much misinformation coming from our state administration right now. We have to counter that so that people can make an educated decision. If you want to do something, if you don't want to do something, it's entirely up to you. My goal is to make sure you have the information you need to make the decision that you want to make. So again, my name is Tom Lambert with Michigan Open Carry. Thank you for joining me tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you later, not too long.